Hi everyone, we're going to be doing a get ready with me today. Not really a tutorial, just basically doing my makeup and talking to everybody. So what's everyone been up to? I'm actually on vacation this week. Probably won't be looking at the camera a whole lot while I'm doing this because I can't see the camera right now. If I don't have my glasses on, I can't see. So I'll probably be having the mirror like this a lot of the time. I'll do the best I can looking at the camera. I'm just going to guess that I'm looking at the camera right now. Going to start off with my Watermelon Burst Primer. Love the way this smells. Smells like the fake watermelon, like the candy smell and the candy taste. Not that you can really taste this, but the way it smells, you kind of get the overall gist of what it'll taste like. Okay, and I usually do my primer before everything, and then I'll do my eyeshadow primer, because I do my eyes before I do the rest of my makeup so that I can... Trixie's back again too, but I do my eyes before the rest of my makeup just in case there's any fallout from my eyeshadow. You don't need a whole lot of eyeshadow primer because if you put too much, it's going to crease. And that's not what you want. And I do both eyes basically at the same time. I don't do one eye and then the other. If I do one step on one eye, I do that same step on the other eye right after. If I don't, I'm going to forget what I did on the one eye. And my eyes aren't like real hooded, but they're getting to where they're a little bit hooded, so I have to kind of work the eyeshadow primer into that crease area a little bit more. Okay, and then the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using today is the Revolution palette with the, I guess it's the Integrity palette. It's got the zebra print on it. I'm a big fan of zebra print. Okay, and this is the palette itself. There's a lot of metallics and glitters, and there's a few matte shades in there. This is definitely going to be hard to do because I can't see my brushes either. So what I'm going to do, which brush do I want to use? I'll use this e.l.f. eye crease brush. And for an actual transition shade, I'm going to use the Bailey Sarian Venice Fling palette. I'm just going to use that tan line shade right here. That's just to get the transition shade down. Trixie, what are you doing? And you're going to go right into your crease. That's one way to know what eye shape will work better for your eyes whenever you're doing your makeup, is just start with the crease, because the crease actually shows your natural eye shape. And I know you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing real well, but till I can find a better area to do it in, this is what it's going to be like for a little bit. And Trixie's going to be helping a lot with makeup too, it seems like, because she seems to come in here every single time I'm doing something. Because she's nosy. She probably got that from me. I'm pretty nosy too. If I know there's something going around, some kind of gossip or something, I'm not necessarily going to spread the gossip, but I want to know what it is. I want to be in on the goods. Alright. And then I'm going to take a blending brush. And just kind of blend all that out to where there's no harsh lines. So you're basically going to get in your crease real well there. You're going to do that with the other side as well. You never want a whole bunch of harsh lines because that'll also make you look older. Okay. That looks pretty good. Alright, and the next shade that I'm going to go in with is, there's a yellow shade here that's kind of getting my attention, and I'm probably going to use it. But this yellow shade right here, I'm probably going to start using. And I may end up wiping all this off if I decide I don't like it. I try not to blow on my brushes too much because you can get a lot of bacteria and stuff on your brushes. You don't really want to do that, especially right now. But once again, you're going to go into the crease. But this is a little bit of a bigger brush, so it's going to go further out on the crease, which is fine. It'll make it have a little smokier look. And remember, you've already got that crease, that transition crease shade down. So you're just following that pretty much, because that's going to be the natural shape of your eye. Can I help you? Better not break my glasses, Trixie. It looks like Trixie's going to be our mascot, apparently. You won't see Cleo nearly as much because Cleo is a little bit more introverted than Trixie is. She pretty much won't even come out if somebody else is around. Trixie will come out no matter what, usually. Eventually, anyway. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with this orange shade right here. I hope y'all can see it, because I can't. And I'm going to go not into the crease, but a little bit below it and into the crease, just so that we don't cover up all that yellow that we just put down. We still want the yellow to stand out even with the orange, but we can also go back over the yellow after we get all of it done, just to give it a little bit more emphasis. Trixie? Trixie! You don't want to hold your brush, like I've seen a lot of people, they'll hold their brush down like this. This is going to create a bunch of harsh lines. You want to hold it basically in this area here. It doesn't have much of a, you're not putting as much pressure on it, I guess is easier to say. Trixie. And if you've never worn glasses before and you can't see, and you're somebody that doesn't need glasses to see, you're not going to understand the struggle of trying to put on makeup when you have no idea what you're doing. It's basically just a guessing game, trying to figure out where you've put your makeup on your face. And that's the struggle that all of us with glasses have, is trying to find our face with our makeup brushes. Trixie agrees. And your eyes, whenever you do them, they're not going to look identical. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to have an identical eye look on both sides. If you do see somebody who's gotten them to look exactly the same, if it's in a picture, it's probably Photoshop. If it's in real life, they deserve an award. And I have to say, these Wet n Wild and e.l.f. brushes are actually really good, especially for drugstore prices. I'm actually really impressed with those. Okay. And I'm probably gonna stain this brush, which I don't want to do, but I'm going to go in with this red color right here. I don't know if it has shade names anywhere or not. It doesn't. There's no shade names. Probably should have checked that earlier, but I didn't. And that's pretty much just going to go all over the lid. Going to want to pack that on there. You can blend it here in a little bit, but right now you just want to get that color on there. Just pat, pat, pat. Okay. And then you're going to take a blending brush again and just kind of blend it in. Okay. And then you're going to do the same on the other eye. And just, you'll probably be able to see this one a little better, but pat, pat, pat. Just get that color on there. And we're probably also going to do a cut crease with this too. Okay. and then take your blending brush and blend it all in. Alright, and I'm going to take another blending brush because I'm pretty sure that we accidentally got rid of that yellow color, which I had a feeling it was going to happen anyway. But we're going to take a blending brush and put just a little bit of that yellow color on there, and then go across the top again. Just to give some of that back. And you're going to tap off the excess. Again, you don't want to blow on your brushes. Okay. Now, when I do a cut crease, I basically do it the same as when I put my eyeshadow base on. Basically just tap the concealer, but it's just going to be on my lid. Start at the inner corner and kind of tap that in. Once again, I'm still guessing where my actual eyes are. This is one reason I have to have the mirror so close to my face, because I can't see what I'm doing otherwise. And you're going to tap it all the way over, and you're going to leave just the outside corner of it. That way you still have that red color. Alright. And this is where I'm actually going to use the Bailey Sarian palette again. I'm going to use this. You're not going to be able to see the shimmer very well probably, but I'm going to use this red shimmery shade. It is called Puppy Love. And this is the one that I'm actually going to use on my lid. I don't know how well this is going to look, but we're about to find out. You're just going to tap that over the lid. And I use my finger for this part because it's just a lot easier. Shimmer doesn't seem to be showing up as much as I'd hoped it would. So I might have to add a little something else extra to that. Or it might be okay. I don't guess every look has to have a shimmer to it. Okay. What do you think, Trixie? Not shimmery enough? Okay, we'll fix that here in a minute. Alright. And then we're going to do the same with the other eye, starting with the inside corner. Which I know y'all aren't going to be able to see what I'm doing here. We'll have to figure out a way to do this to where both of us can see, because right now neither of us can see, I guess. Okay. Did you just walk all over my glasses? Because I feel like you did. Alright. Okay, and then we're going to take that same shade from the Bailey Sarian palette. Basically got it on your finger like this. And just tap it all over the lid where we put that eyeshadow base. Basically like we did with the other eye. There's a little bit of shimmer there, but I think I'm going to add a little bit more to it here in a few minutes. Alright. And this is actually, I don't use makeup wipes anymore to remove my makeup. They're very harsh on the skin. I use a micellar water, and then I do another cleanser. I basically do a double cleanse. But I do like makeup wipes for like wiping off my brushes and my fingers for when I do a cut crease, but I don't have any makeup wipes right now. And I think I'm going to add some more of that yellow shade in again. Just because I don't like how little of it that can be seen. I want a little more. It's not the brush I was using. This is the one. Basically over the very top of it. Okay, I think what I'm going to do here could use that. I'm actually going to use my NikkieTutorials highlighter, I think, just to add a little bit more dimension to this eye look. So I'm just going to tap over it a little bit. In the inner corner here. And then yeah, that actually looks a lot better. That makes it look a little more shimmery. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Alright. And we're going to move on to the actual face makeup now. Now I've got my Beauty Blender concealer. Like I said, I just use a dot on the outside corner of my under eye and then on the inside corner. And then I'll either use my ring finger or my index finger to just kind of tap it in gently. Kind of keep it in place there. Yeah. You do not need pounds and pounds of concealer on your face. Tap, tap. And just that little bit will brighten up your under eyes a whole lot. And you want to put a few dots around your face and just kind of, once again, just tap it. You don't want to smear it all over your face because a blender or a sponge is meant to just bounce. It's not supposed to just smear it like a paint sponge or anything like that. And just kind of the little indents that I have where my glasses are, I'm just going to put a tiny dot on each side. And then use my blender to kind of tap that in. That'll hide the spots that I have for a few minutes anyway. It'll make me feel better momentarily. And then next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip the switch on this so that I don't make a mess. So I'm going to take my powder, which is the Watermelon Burst Setting Powder by Ciaté London. And I don't do this all the time because, like I've said before, my skin is dry. But I'm just going to use very little. Like you won't even see very much of it on the brush. And just go over a little bit, all over my face here. And that actually should be pretty much enough. Maybe do a little on my nose. Once again, don't blow on any of your brushes to get the excess off. Just tap them off on the side of your mirror or something like that. Okay. And then I will go in with my contour, which is the same shade I used for my crease shade. And I will use this kind of angled brush here by Moda. I like an angled brush whenever I do my contour. And that's actually quite a bit, so I'm going to tap off. And then just delicately right here under my cheek. You notice I'm only going one direction with it. I don't go back and forth with it because that will create a harsh line. And then the same with this side. And then if I want to kind of blend it out a little more, I'll turn it to its side here. Instead of having it long ways like this, I'll turn it to the side. And then just kind of pat it some. And that'll make it look a little more seamless. And I'm fair skinned, so I don't do a whole lot of contouring. You won't see a whole lot of color on my actual face. You'll see it on my eyes, but not on my actual face, because if it's too heavy, it just looks really weird on me, which is something I've come to terms with. Then I'm going to take my Benefit bronzer. I'm going to use a fluffy brush like the one I used for my face powder. And you notice there's quite a bit on there, so I'm going to tap it off. And then I'm going to go around the very edges here. Basically doing this is just to make my forehead look a little bit smaller. Trixie Ann. And And then the rest of it is just to add a little definition to my face, which I never really had any to begin with, so I don't need a whole lot now. Okay, and then we're done with our bronzer. And then we're going to move on to our blush. Which is our Colourpop blush. And I use another fluffy brush for this one just because if it's too thick and dense, it's going to have a whole lot of color payoff, and once again my skin tone was not made for that. And I'm just going to go on the apples of my cheeks and a little bit further back. Just kind of rub that around. And you can build it up to however much you want it, which is usually not a lot for me. Okay. And now that we've got all that done, we're going to go back to our eyes. Sorry, Trixie. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that red shade that I used close to the end before I put on my cut crease. And I'm going to use a smudge brush for this, if I can find it. Okay. This may have a little bit too much definition for me, but we'll see. And I'm going to go just right up into that lash line with it. Trixie. We're basically using this almost like an eyeliner almost. Which you won't see me put eyeliner in my waterline. I have extremely dry eyes, so we won't be doing that on this channel. As much as I love the way that looks, I can't do that with my eyes. It aggravates them way too much. Which just doing this alone aggravates my eyes. But I do love the way it looks when somebody puts eyeliner in it, especially a brightly colored eyeliner. Alright. And once again, it's not going to look exactly the same on both eyes. have a feeling that Trixie is going to end up being the star of this show. Just call it a hunch. Alright, and I'm going to take a smaller blending brush, if I have one. Yes. And I'm going to take that yellow shade again. And just go around the edges of that, where I used that red for the eyeliner. Just so that that yellow is standing out on all sides. Like, I want that yellow to stand out some. Trixie, what are you doing? Asking her what she's doing, like she's actually gonna tell me and I'm gonna understand what it is that she's done. And if that doesn't scream crazy cat lady, I don't know what does. Okay, I think we've pretty much got that. I find it so hard to match what I've done on one eye on the other eye, and then I just keep trying to correct it and it ends up all the way down my face. Okay. And now I'm going to use my NikkieTutorials times Ofra Glazed Donut highlighter, which I'll also use it as my actual highlighter, but I'm going to use it for my inner corner and my brow bone highlight. And I tend to go overzealous with the highlight, because that's who I am. And I'm just going to get right up in the corner, close to the tear duct, but not in it, because that also aggravates dry eyes. And because we've used a red eyeshadow, like an orangey red, this is actually mixing in a little bit with it. So even though it's a white colored highlight, it's going to come out kind of red on the corner of the eye. Like I said, I tend to get a little overzealous, but it could be worse. Okay, and then I'm going to take a fluffy kind of brush, eyeshadow brush of course, and go right over the brow bone. If you grew up in the 90s, in the 2000s, you've been doing this the whole time. Even though people don't, even most makeup artists don't really do it that much even anymore. You do this because you were raised to do this. You highlight that brow bone. We are in the 90s again. Bring it back. Okay, now we are going to do our brows. Just kind of brush them through at first. I'll brush them upward. And then just fill in the bare spots. And then I add a little definition, kind of fill up the rest of it. And then I do the same over here. Okay, and then we're going to brush that product through. Exactly, Trixie. Brush it through. What are you doing? Okay. And just like your eyeshadow, they're not going to look exactly alike. You can try. You can do your best to get them there, but they're not going to look like twins. They may be sisters. Sometimes they're going to be sisters from, maybe you got the same mother and a different father. They're going to look somewhat relatable. Okay. And now we're going to move on to mascara, which is my least favorite part because I stab myself in the eye so many times. Trixie, you're not being very helpful. And I try so hard to get any kind of clumps off of this brush, because if I don't, those clumps will be in my eyelashes, and I'm very picky. I don't want my eyelashes sticking together. I don't want them clumped. I don't want any of it. Which is probably where false lashes would come in handy. And what I'm using is the Triple Shot XXL Mascara by Ciaté London. And it has clumped, but there's a way to fix that. Once it dries, that's when I'll fix the issue. I'm going to go get one of the tools I need. I'll be right back. Okay. Now where did I put my mirror? Oh. Now, anytime that you have a lot of clumps or something in your eyelashes, I would try to use this little brow comb, brow and eyelash. I'll use the actual comb of it to try to get the clumps out. And if my eyelashes are sticking together after they've dried, I use this brush here, which is actually for your eyebrows, but it also helps separate. You'll also get a little bit of fallout when you do this, but you just wipe it away. Alright. It's an easy fix. Alright, and now we'll do our highlight. Have to bring the cut brush to me because I can't see it. Alright, and we'll go right here around the cheekbone. You basically, every person should be highlighting in a different area. You want it where the light is hitting. So if the light's going to hit you right here on this part of your cheekbone, that's where you're going to put the highlight. Okay. And you'll do just a little bit above the brow here. And not everybody needs to contour their nose. And a lot of people do contour on the side of their nose and then highlight straight down the middle. If you've already got a smaller nose, you don't need to do that. All you're going to do is make your nose look even smaller. So I just kind of put a little bit of highlighter right here on the bridge of my nose. And then just a little bit on the tip of the nose. And of course the Cupid's bow. And I did get a couple of things from Colourpop from their collaboration with Hasbro and Colourpop, or Candyland I should say. I got their highlighting powder, which I didn't use today. I may use it in another video, but this is basically, let me go ahead and show you. It comes like this. And then that's the top of it. And it looks, I just love it because it looks like an old-timey powder. Just like you would, like in the 30s and 40s. But I feel like this is probably going to be hard to use to do a highlight. But I also feel like it's dense enough, the powder is finely milled. Like I feel like you could probably, I'm going to use this on my entire body. Because I feel like you can get, which you're not going to see it on camera, but I feel like you could get an all over shimmer with this. And if that is the case, I'm going to shower in this. I am going to walk into work. That is gorgeous. I'm going to walk into work Monday covered in this, and I'm going to shimmer like the morning dew. You're not going to be ready for it. But I feel like this would work great as an all-over body shimmer powder for your body. It's not advertised like that, but I feel like it would be great. And I also got these, I think they're lip balms. Yes, they're lip balms. If it was a lipstick, I probably would not have gotten it because I don't do a whole lot of lipsticks. But they come in packages like this. And we got Mr. Mint. Which, that is a cute color. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see it right now unless I've got it right up in my face. But I'll go ahead and swatch it on my hand. Yeah, it's definitely just like a lighter peach kind of shade. Which is pretty much right up my alley because I don't wear a lot of lip products. This one is Peppermint Frost. And this is more of a pinky shade. And I will put it right next to Yeah, that's definitely got a pinker sheen to it. And then we've got the shade Let's Chill, which is a darker pink shade, which this may be the one I end up using depending on how it swatches. Yeah, that's more of a fuchsia. I actually really like that. I'm probably going to use that one. So we're going to put these away. And if you've ever watched Scott Barnes, which I've only seen a few of his videos, if you kind of put your lip product on kind of going outwards, it'll give you a natural pout. Which my bottom lip doesn't need that. Okay. Yes, Trixie, I get it. I know. Alright. And then we're just going to set all of this down with my Milani Make It Last spray. Okay. Okay. And then that is the finished look. Trixie, do you approve? How do I look? Am I pretty? Yeah? I'm pretty? Am I pretty? Alright. That's finished look. Trixie approves. Thanks for watching.